Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host Maxine. We're on episode 104. Child, I have a whole agenda to talk about for this episode. But before we get to it, y'all know I gotta give you an update on Boston Bay. No, nothing crazy happened. As always, I gotta keep y'all in the loop of what's been happening. So I think, with the holidays, everything just feels like it has to be this lovey-dovey, mushy-gushy time when it's really not in reality. But we get so caught up in what this season looks like or what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to be with your loved ones. You're supposed to be in love. There's supposed to be romance and just cuddle and all of that. And you get caught up with just the perception of things. So anyway, I say all that to say, Boston Bay hit me up in my DMs. And the last time we spoke was in August of this year. And he hit me up in my DMs. And it's so funny because he would watch the DMs the Instagram stories that I post that is particularly about a rant that I'm talking about on some nigga, on dating, on an experience I recently had or whatever. And in this particular IG story, I was talking about this guy who I suddenly saw on my timeline. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so fine. And I saw that he's in Houston. And I was just really going off about how fine he is. I'm like, let me just go ahead and hit the follow button. And as I hit the follow button, I'm trying to look through his Instagram profile. I'm trying to see, a little bit more about who he is. Because, when people, you go on Instagram, you get to really see their whole life story. Like, okay, you got a kid. Okay, you and your baby mama not together, but y'all co-parenting really well. Okay, you got a pet. Okay, you live here in the Southwest side. Or you figure out their life story just based off of their Instagram profile. But this nigga had only 3 posts up. And apparently the profile that I was following was his business page, was his up and coming business page. Because it's clear that it was a new page that he just started. And he only had 3 posts. And he's a fitness trainer, and his post was focused on just promoting his business, what he focuses on, motivational quotes, but it was only 3 posts. And I couldn't really maximize on his face. I'm like, oh damn, he looks so fine. His body looks great. But I couldn't figure out if I knew him or not because he looked very, very familiar. Now, I just hit the follow button just because, why not have a little eye candy or whatever. So I'm talking about it on my IG story, and of course, that's the great time to view that story and respond by hitting up my DMs talking about, oh, LOL, just say you trying to fuck, guys, we're simple creatures. And I just feel like I don't know if he has amnesia. I think it's amnesia. It has to be amnesia because I don't understand how we haven't spoken in 3 months. It's not 3 months, actually. Since August. I keep on thinking 3 months ago was August. But no, we haven't spoken since August. And, the last time he did try to hit me up, I ignored him. How Instagram, you could see that someone saw your message. So he saw that I saw his message to me. And I actively ignored him. And now you want to hit me up on some, hey, what's up type of shit. It's just very weird to me, but he does this so consistently that I'm not really surprised. It's really the audacity for me, but it's just who he is, I guess, whatever. So he hits me up on that and I'm just like, oh, here we go. What, should I ignore it? Should I just, and I think I've come to a point where I don't want him to get the best out of me. And what I mean by that is I don't want to get angry anymore. I don't want to get frustrated anymore with him. I don't want to tell him about himself anymore because clearly none of that worked. Clearly me telling him, hey, I don't like the way you talk to me. Hey, that's not okay. Hey, you don't respect me, or all you care about is yourself. Clearly me saying all of that didn't work. Right? Nothing has changed. He's not reflective. He's not a changed person. And so me wasting energy on feeling those emotions is a waste of energy. There's no point of me saying that. So why get mad? Why react in a negative way, why not just like roll it off my shoulder? So I respond and I say, LOL, SMH. So LOL, shake my head. That's what I responded. And then he's the type of guy, if you guys haven't noticed, you give that nigga an inch, he'll take a whole mile, okay? A whole mile is what he will take. And he took that as a grand opportunity to just dump his response to me. And the way that he's done this before was the same way. Like, okay, if I say hello back, or if I don't even respond with the actual word message, and if I just like double tap his message with, when you double tap, it likes it, it hearts it. If I just did that, because I did that before in the past with us, and he'll take that's a little inch for him, and he'll take that and go the long mile, and he'll start to like make sure that I know that he still feels for me, he still loves me, or still misses me, or he misses me and he wants to see me, and I miss you, Max. Like, he knows to do that. He does that as a weapon. I feel like he uses that to his advantage, because in the past it worked many times. Because y'all know, as soon as a nigga says I miss you, okay, I'm yours. And I've definitely grown from that. I just also like, I know it's coming, so it's like, I don't look, I mean, he could miss me, it could be authentic, but then it's like, even if it is, so what? Even if it is, so what? So anyway, he responded after I said LOL SMH. He took that as a grand opportunity to dump his feelings for me, trying to get me back into his arm, get me back under his control. That's really his manipulative ways, him being a nigga. So I say LOL SMH. He responds LMAO, the I don't know emoji, and then right after he's like, you old creep, still love and miss you still. And yeah, sometimes he'll call me a creep or stuff. That's a little pet name he'll say to me. But and like, the thing is, there was really no point for him to just go ahead and say still love you or miss you. There was no point for him to dump that in. He does that deliberately. Like, I could see through it all. It's not, the old me would have responded like, I would have double tapped that message. I would have been like, oh my gosh, you still do? You think about me? I miss you too. I would have taken that and ran with it. But instead, growth. So I could definitely give myself that growth. Instead, I read it and I just rolled my eyes like, okay, here we go. Like, I knew it was coming. I knew he was going to say this, and it's just not enough. So anyway, he says, yo ass stay on the search for a nigga though, LOL. So I said, oh, these are just jokes. So I'm not even acknowledging the fact that he said still love you and miss you. I'm not even giving that any spotlight, because I don't want him to get off on that. Like, I don't want him to feel like, oh, okay, I kind of got her back because I said this and she double tapped it and she said I love you too back. You know how niggas be, or just people in general, because I say niggas for everybody, men and women. So I just respond. I'm not even acknowledging that text. I say, these are just jokes, because I'm responding to him saying, yo ass stay on the search for a nigga though, LOL. And I don't like when he says that, because it just makes it seem like I'm thirsty, I'm desperate, I'm so in need of a man and intimacy. And it's like, even if I was, that's not a bad thing. Like, even if I am, and I think ultimately what it is for me that I've been realizing, I want intimacy, albeit with a man or woman. Like, I want intimacy. I want that closeness. I want that connection. I want that stability. The casualness is not where I want to continue to lay in anymore. I've had my fun. It's been fun, but I would like to work towards intimacy with a partner. That's where I am. So him saying that statement is just like, here we go. Like, is this another subtle jab that he'll do? And so I responded to that. I was just like, these are just jokes. And then he responds and says, SMH, I don't like them. And it's like, but why though? We're not together. We haven't spoken since August, and we didn't even speak in August. That was the last time you texted me. I didn't respond to you. You saw that I saw your message, but he's persistent, and he's been persistent because that's really just his nature, but also just because of the history that we have. Every time he's been persistent, I've always let him back in, and it's always been the same cycle with us. So I respond, I say, why? Why don't you? I'm responding to him saying, SMH, I don't like them, the jokes that I say. And then he says, cause you gonna always be my boo. And I feel like I'm not impressed. Like, okay. Like, I think also he probably thought that was a way to garner me back. Like, you gonna always be my boo. Oh, I'm gonna always be your boo. That the old mama, the old me would have been like, oh, you gonna always be my boo. Like, oh, okay, we do have something. It is real, But I read it objectively. I read it outside of me. And I just read it as words. I didn't give it an attachment. And I had to actually stop myself from creating fantasy around the words that he would use towards me. Because I've done that so many times in the past where I would add more to what he said just to make me feel good. Like, well, he didn't really say anything more. You just added a whole storyline in your head and you're running off of that, So I didn't respond to that. He's like, or nah, LOL, when you coming home? And I'm giving him a blank answer because I am coming home in 2 weeks. So I just say that 2 weeks. So he's like, nice, I want to see you. I say, I don't think that's a good idea. He says, why? LOL. And then it was at that point where I was thinking, should I just give him a whole paragraph message, a whole soliloquy on why we're toxic or you're toxic and why I've had enough of you and why I can't keep on doing this with you. I deserve better. Blah, blah. And it's like, I really was going through the options in my head of what do I say in response? Should I go ahead and dump all of these emotions on him, dump all the reasons why it's not a good idea for us to see each other? And I thought to myself, why do I need to dump all of this? Why do I need to say this? Because, and I'm saying why, because I've done it already. I've done it many, many, many times. I've said what I've needed to say to him. I hit him with the whole, okay, I'm done. I'm over us. I'm done. I hit him with the, I deserve better. I hit him with that. I hit him with the, let's just keep it. Let's just be done with this. It's not working out, obviously. I hit him with the block. Like, I've hit him in I don't know what other angle to go. I don't, like, you're not getting it. Like, you're clearly, you don't give a fuck about what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't care to really take weight in what I am saying to you as to why I am done with this, like why I've washed my hands with this. And in part, it's my fault because I've allowed for it to be a back and forth for so long. So, of course, naturally, one would think, oh, okay, I'll just get her right back in my room again. I'll get her right back in my house again, blah, blah, blah. And that's natural. But I also feel like there's a lack of respect there. Because if someone is saying, I'm done, respect that. Don't try to manipulate the person to thinking that they're not really done, that you really got something else for her, that you've really changed, or that you are getting better. And it's tiring. And so what I said to myself, like, why do I need to keep on repeating the same thing I've said many times before in different ways? Why? Because he hasn't, like, why do I need to say this again? He hasn't heard. He hasn't listened. He hasn't cared. He hasn't respected it. Why? I'm wasting my time. So all I said was, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. He says, why? I said, because it's always the same thing with us. Like, I'm not going to keep on painting a picture. You know what it is. Like, I'm not going to keep on being gaslit by you. Me thinking maybe he doesn't get it. Maybe I got to explain to him again. No, he's a grown man. And maybe it's a narcissism in him that's blinding him. Either way, he's not dumb. He's aware of his actions. And I think with narcissists, because I do think he's a narcissist, at least he has narcissistic tendencies. Because, a lot of people say, oh, I don't think a lot of people say it, but sometimes that term is used too loosely when, there are people out here really narcissistic. there are people who are really all about themselves, like really, and they're functional narcissists. Like they could maybe behave a particular way when they're at work, but when they're in their interpersonal relationships, they demonstrate narcissism. So I think it's also a spectrum from what I've learned. Narcissism, you're not just full on a complete narcissist. You may show some tendencies of that, and that's still a form of narcissism, so there's a range to it. You may not be all the way to X, but you may be at C, B, or D level, and he's definitely in that spectrum. So whatever it is, I'm not a doctor, obviously, so I wouldn't be able to diagnose him, but when you've been with someone for so long and you dealt with and observed their behavior, you could say a little bit about who they are. Like, I'm going to give myself the permission to call him such, or at least call him as someone who demonstrates these tendencies, these narcissistic tendencies. So, I just say, because it's always the same thing with us. Aren't you tired of this cycle? And I think I fucked up with that question, because he doesn't answer direct questions as he should. Instead, he'll just go around the circle. So that was a pointless thing. And then he just ends and just says, "We'll be fine. Let me know when you're coming home, bae," with a smiley face. And I think it's just another example of his manipulation, which is another form of narcissism, which is an example of his narcissism. But it's also just I don't want to waste energy on how to best react to him, because just a few days I was thinking, okay, this is how I should say it. This is how I should say this. This is what I should say. Oh, I shouldn't respond to this. I should just be quiet. And I'm tired of preparing a script for him. And I don't want to say I don't trust myself, because I do trust myself, and I've grown so much in my perception, in my confidence in myself. And I was going through my prayer journal, and there was a part in my journal where I read, where I wrote, "I deserve something different," and it was from a sermon that I was listening, and it was from, I forgot which part in the Bible he was using, but pretty much when God tries to show you something new, something different, something better, we tend to still get in the habit of staying in the rut that we're in, because we're just so used to it. So of course, I'm going to stick with the devil I know. I'm going to stick with this personality that I know, because it's scary to try something new. It's scary to bet on yourself. So I'm just going to go with what I know. And even though what I know is harmful, even though what I know is not okay for my well-being, at least is what I know. So I just came across that part in my prayer journal. I'm like, oh my gosh, I needed this reminder. I deserve something different. I deserve someone different. I deserve a different experience. And I just think about the different that I deserve, right? I'm tired of I was just thinking about just the way it is with us, with me and Boston Bay, how whenever we do link up, I go over his house. He cooks me something. He makes something up from scratch. It's pretty good for the most part. He makes me a drink. I'm feeling a little good. He's preparing his bong, because he has a whole bong in his living room that he has already set up. Every time it's just the same old thing. And he then goes on a rant about how his father wasn't there, and then I'm just sitting there how can I be more of a therapist for this man? Because I genuinely care. I genuinely care to make the other person feel better or feel uplifted. And sometimes it's to my detriment when I am like that with people who really soak that up and don't give me anything in return. So I just thinking to myself, I deserve something. I'm tired of that. Just that alone, I want different. I don't want to keep on coming over your house and you make me egg and cheese sandwich from your brioche bread. I don't want to come over your house and you preparing your bong to smoke, and then you pass out, and then you roll over on the sectional couch that we're on, sectional sofa that we're on, and then you kiss me on my neck, and then, okay, panties off. Like, I deserve something different. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like this. I want different. I want else. I want better. So it's just the runaround that I'm not interested in running around with anymore. It's just the same old conversations that I don't care to engage in anymore. And then it's me also realizing, like, wow, when I have been with him every time, I've always felt drained. I've always felt like this is just the same old shit. Here we go, talking about his childhood, talking about, growing up in the early 90s in Boston and in drug-ridden neighborhood in the projects that he was living in, and his mother had to make it on her own, and how multiple times he was homeless. And it's like all of this, as much as I love conversation, right? As much as I love engagement and really learning about someone and really getting into the root of who someone is, I love all of that, right? But the problem is with him is it's only about him. Never in the conversation does he inquire about me. Never does he make an opportunity to create a safe space for me to express myself. I've never, from all the time that we've been together or that we've known each other and spent time together, I've never really shared my upbringings. He knows pretty much the surface of me, and I will try to, and even when I do try to jump in the conversation, he's not hearing me. So anyway, I say all this to say, even when I was thinking about, okay, maybe I should just tell him the reasons why it's not good for us to spend time together. Maybe I should dump this all into him. Even though, like, say if in a hypothetical world, which is still not going to happen, even in a hypothetical world, but let's just say in a hypothetical world, he was receptive to what I would say. He was realizing, I am all about myself. Hey, I'm working on that. Hey, I've been to therapy, or I've been working on myself. I have a coach. I have a mentor. I have someone guiding me through this because I know I'm not all the way healed. And like, say if he was really reflective on himself, right? Let's just say that. Let us just say, I love saying that, by the way, let us, like, is this lettuce or lettuce? That's so funny. But let us just say that, right? I still don't want it. Because I realize I don't like him. Like, I really just don't like him like that. I really just don't feel that safety that I need to feel with my partner. I don't feel emotionally safe with him. So even if he does work on himself, or maybe it can create an emotional safety net between us, but there isn't enough traits in him for me to desire more, for me to desire him, period. He doesn't make me laugh. Every time I'm with him, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. He doesn't create this environment for me to feel like I could be my whole self with him. He doesn't add on to my jokes. It's just like there's a disconnect. And okay, then mama, why have you even given him any chances in the past? Because I've created this persona in my head, and there'll be little crumbs that he'll give me, crumbs of, oh, well, he called me bae. Like, I would take crumbs, y'all, thinking that, oh, this crumb, I could make a whole, pound cake with this crumb. But I can't make a pound cake with the crumb that you're giving me, because it's always still the same little thing with him. So I think about, like, okay, even if he is reflective of himself and his actions, I just don't like him like that. I just don't care to be with him like that, because he just doesn't do it for me. And I was just so stuck on the persona of him, because he fits this, because at the time when we first started, he fits this persona of like bad, like hood nigga, reformed, educated, and he just needs someone to love, right? Or he just needs someone who could love him good so he could start loving well. And I was I felt honored to take that position. Like, okay, maybe I could show him how to love. And even though at that time I wasn't really open to love either, but I felt like something could grow there. I was really looking into his potential than the reality of who he is. And all the years that we've known each other and spent time together, the potential's never been grown. Like, people are like, I see so much in you. Okay, but when do the so much that I see in you develop into reality? When is it outside of my head? Does it actually become a thing? And it never is. It never does become a thing with us. And I would get so caught up with the, oh, well, okay, he's giving me the crumb of, I still love you, I still miss you. Okay, maybe there's something there. And even if and then another thing, in hypothetical land, even if there is something there, right? Like, I still don't want it, because what are we doing? You're in Boston, I'm in Houston. You have a child. I don't want a baby daddy. I don't want that. I like, there's a lot of things that he already has that I just can't get in gel with. Like, so what is the point? Anyway, I'm saying all this to say I'm trying to talk myself out of the possibility of me even considering saying yes. I haven't responded to the last text, to the last DM that he sent me. And it just ended with him saying, we'll be fine. Let me know when you come. And I don't know. I'm literally just, I'm telling y'all everything right now, because I don't know because just earlier today I was thinking to myself, like, okay, what if? Because yes, he's fucked up and he's done shitty things to me, and I spoke up for myself in the ways that I could in that time, but I also realized the times that when I have spoken up for myself towards him, I didn't really get to do it in person. It's only been done via text, via phone call sometimes, but mostly via text, and sometimes via FaceTime. But I never really gave myself the opportunity to speak up against him or speak up towards him in person. Like, I never really got to really be my full adult self to him. And I know that before I would quiet my own voice. So I think I take responsibility there. Like, I will quiet my own voice because he intimidated me. And so I would feel like, okay, well, I can't speak up with this, or I'll just, I'm forcing it. I'll just tuck it in. I'll just tuck it in. He didn't mean it like that. Like, I'll just try to I would just quiet my voice. And now that I've grown, I feel like I want to prove to myself that I can speak up to him in front of him, in person, in the physical, right? Not just through text, not just through FaceTime, because it's totally different when you speak up to someone face to face versus via text. So now you may be thinking, okay, well, what you gonna say? Blah, blah, blah. It's not like it's just like, okay, say we go out to eat. Now, that's my opportunity to really say whatever I want to say. Like, look, we have to stop doing this, or like, you're mean, or I don't know. I'll create a whole speech. Y'all know I'll create a speech. But like, basically, I just want to tell him that I'm not interested in this anymore. And here are the reasons why. Like, you're disrespectful. You disrespect me. You're mean. Like, it's really just mean. Like, you're just mean. And I get in a habit of, whenever I speak up for myself, I start smiling. I'm laughing. I just laugh, right? Like, I'm always working on my throat chakra, just using my vocal cords and standing in my emotion. And I feel like I want to just speak up for myself clearly in front of him, just for me. So anyway, I'm just really flushing all these ideas out. Like, okay, if we do spend time together, when I get home, this is what I plan to do. I do not plan to go over his house. So let's do that. Let's make that an accountability structure right there. So please hold me accountable. But I do not plan to go to his house. And the thing is, here's another thing. Like, my logic is so clear on all of the reasons why I don't want to spend time with him, right? My logic is telling me he's mean. Like, that's just it. Like, that should be enough, right? But it's his mean. It's him being mean. It's him being selfish, or not even selfish, self-centered. That's really more of what it is. It's him being manipulative. It's him being gaslighting. It's him being thoughtless, like he lacks thoughtfulness. It's him being inconsistent. It's him like, all these are all the logistics as to why do I even want to spend time with a man like that, right? And I think about the time that we've spent together physically, how every time I spent time with him physically in person at his house, I never felt wanted. I never felt wanted. I never felt like, oh, he's excited to see me. Oh, it's been weeks or it's been months since we last seen each other. He's holding me up. And because he doesn't show sensuality. He's not sensual. He's not cuddly. And I want my partner to be a sensual person. I want my partner to be cuddly. I want my partner to demonstrate how they feel about me. Like, clearly show me in your physical touch. That's one of my love languages. And when you are not showing me that, when you're rigid and when you're hard, and that's how he is, he's rigid and he's hard. And I would always excuse that because, oh, he's a hood nigga, his dad wasn't around, and his dad was on crack, and all these things. I would excuse it. And I also just feel like that's not enough. That's not enough anymore. So all of this logic gives me all the reasons to not entertain even the possibility of spending time with him. But there's this very itty bitty part of me that just, I don't know. I'm really trying to flush it out, but it is not like, I don't know, because I'm not spending time thinking about him. I'm not spending time. I think it's just the old me wanting to see if, just wanting to see him, wanting to see if there is just a slight difference. Even if there is a difference, like, so what? It's not gonna work out. I don't know. This is literally me just talking this out loud. And but yeah, I don't plan to spend the night or go over his house. I know with the lockdown happening, I don't think there's still a lockdown in Boston. I don't know. I gotta double check with that. But that's a good excuse to just be like, okay, I'll just come over. You can just pick me up. Because let me tell you this right now. Okay, if I'm going over your house, what's gonna happen? Okay, like, I'm not even gonna say it out loud. Y'all already know. You already know. But I think about the sex. And I'm just thinking, like, I don't even like it like that. What am I doing? Like, it's not even, and it's not like it's bad per se. It's with me, in order for me to feel really comfortable with you, in order to feel sexual pleasure, I have to feel emotionally safe with you. It's really, that's what it is. You can have a small dick, right? Or you can have no dick, right? You can whatever it is. If you make me feel safe, if you make me feel seen, if you hear me, if you are looking at me in my eyes, if you're sensual, oh, this is the best sex ever. Like, that's been my realization. I need sensuality in order to experience pleasure. It's not about if you have the biggest. It's not about if, you got pectorals. It's not about any of that. Do you make me feel safe? Do you cuddle me? Do you hold me from the back? Do you, kiss on my neck? And he doesn't do any of that. He doesn't do any of that. He's just a nigga. Like, it's really, he's just a motherfucking nigga. So then it's like, okay, all of this is enough reason to not fucking talk to him, right? Right. Yeah, it's right. Oh God, I'm done. I'm sick of myself. I'm not sick of myself. Let me stop saying that. But I I just wish he'll make it easy for me. Like, stop. But maybe this is God just like, here's a test. Here's a test. You've grown, right? You said that you were good, right? So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. If anything, I don't want to give him access. And that's what it is. Let me just start thinking like that. I don't want to give him access to me. Access, like, sexually, right? And also towards my heart. I don't want him to feel like he still has access. Like, okay, this ship has gone. It has sailed. I've moved on. And I don't want him to, like, I don't want us to fuck, right? And then, okay, don't hear from him the next few days that I'm still in Boston. And because that's how it's been before, where we would hang out one time and of course we had sex, and he was busy the next consecutive days and I'm already on my flight back to Houston, and it's like, wait, what? I just feel used. So that's what it is. So I got to remember that I don't want to feel used. I don't want to feel abused. I don't want to feel misled. I don't want to. So I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm going to start thinking more logistically when it comes to him, because I have all the listed reasons. I don't even have enough heart reasons, like heart, from my heart reasons to even entertain it, because it's really just all in my head. Like I said, I've stuck around with him because I saw something more in him than the reality of who he is. I saw the potential of who he could be to me. I saw the potential, but you after a while you realize, okay, this potential ain't happening. You just gonna be this type of nigga, and that's just what it is. So I'm going to, I could do this. Okay, I'm good. I just needed that. I just need to talk this out loud. You know how I get. I just need to talk it out, and I'm fine. So if anything, because I don't want to burn bridges, as much as he's been mean to me and we've had our fits, and, I've expressed myself and X, Y, and Z, I feel like I just don't want him to think that he has the best of me where I can't even talk to you. Like, oh, you make me sick. Like, I don't want to expend so much energy on that. And that's really what it is. So I'm okay. Let's say this. I'm okay with us going out, like outside of his house, not in his car. I'll probably, meet up with him. I'll drive my dad's car and meet up with him wherever, at a restaurant, not at his house or whatever. And then I'll keep it like that. We'll have dinner, breakfast, lunch, whatever it is. And okay, goodbye. Go in my car and I go home. Oh gosh, even that, just thinking about that out loud is like, whew, can I do that? Yes, I can. Because I think I need to think about what has been the consistent pattern. What has been the consistent feeling I felt since we've been doing this little thing. And every time I've opened the door back up for him and let him back in, I've always regretted it. And I always felt like, oh, great, I just fucked him again and I don't hear from him. Or I just fucked him again and I thought he was going to be more sensual this time. And that's what it is. That's what it is right there. I would think, okay, this time he's going to hold me from the back. This time he's going to kiss me with his full lips. This nigga doesn't even kiss, y'all. When I tell you he's not sensual. He's just a real hood nigga. He's not sensual. We don't tongue kiss. Like, I love a good tongue kiss. A good, like, some niggas can't tongue kiss. Like, some niggas, I did another Houston nigga. Well, I did a Houston nigga. Nigger. I didn't mean to say it like that. But I dated a Houston guy here, and he kissed, but God, I can't stand a bad kisser. I don't understand why and my ex was the same way. He kissed with, he French kissed me by just sticking his tongue out and just letting it stake out, like letting it just stand just there. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, he's not massaging my tongue. He's not doing anything. He's just like sticking it out. And I'm just over here looking around it. And then there's been times when, this is both my ex and this guy I dated here in Houston a year ago, they would lick up and down has their form of French kissing. Like, I'll just lick up and like a cat, like a lick up and down type of thing. And I'm just thinking, like, who taught you this? Where did you get this technique from? So with them, at least they kiss with their lip, like, at least they kiss, right? But it was horrible kisses. Like, ugh, don't ever kiss me again. With Boston Bae, that nigga don't kiss at all. Like, hell no. Like, he'll kiss me on my cheek. That's how far he's just such a hood nigga. So I literally laughed to myself, like, how did I even get caught up with this nigga? Because there's literally nothing about him that feeds my heart. Nothing about him makes me feel like, oh my God. Like, it's just, he'll give me these crumbs and then I will take them and I'll create a pound cake in my head. And so I'm done doing that. So, okay, I feel good. I had to talk it out. I'm simply just going to, if I don't want to even say if anything, but because then I think about, like, you know, it's just weird because I've never done that. All the times before, yeah, okay, we met up to go out to eat. We met up to go do an activity. And then I'm following him to his house, right? If I drove there by myself, or, you know, I'm following him to his house. Or if he picked me up from my house, we are riding to his house. That was the thing. And it's just different. It's different. So honestly, I prayed about it too, because I just want to do better. Just want to do better. And I'm going to remind myself of the aftermath of how I feel after every time I hang out with him. How I feel depleted, how I feel unseen, how I feel unheard, how, all of that. So I'm going to hold myself to it. I could do it. I've been I started this journey, this 21-day journey, because don't they say 21 days is the start of a new habit? So I started this new journey because I was praying and, God revealed to me that I need to really rewire my thinking. I need to rewire my mindset when it comes to anything, but definitely when it comes to money and my anxiety around money. I realized just in general, I have this scarcity mindset, which is pretty much feeling like there's a lack. Like I don't have enough. I don't have enough, whether it's enough money, enough clothes, enough resources, enough. I don't have enough, or feeling like I'm not enough because I don't have these enough things, because I don't have enough savings. I don't have enough checkings. I don't have enough. It's just enough. The word enough for me is a scary word because I always feel like I don't have it. And I was coming across this Instagram post because it said something about scarcity mindset, which is pretty much, it's the opposite of abundance. And to be a believer of God, you have to realize that Jesus has died for you to live an abundant life. Like, this is not of God for you to feel and operate from a place of lack. It's not of God. So I was thinking about, like, okay, I know it's my mind. I know I would think thoughts that are not productive, that are not conducive to who God has called me to be. So I need to start speaking more life unto myself. I need to start and stopping whenever I speak negativity, whenever I come from a place of lack. Oh, I don't have enough. I can't do it. I can't. I'm not able, or all these, So I started this journey and I committed to journaling every day and speaking affirmations and really just giving myself permission to believe in myself. Giving myself permission to say, okay, I could do this. I believe in myself. I am capable. And let's just give an example. So, a couple of episodes ago, I talked about my, the little fee that I have to pay here. And I felt inadequate. I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't make enough to pay this room fee and still save money for my house and still pay down debt and still pay my personal bills. I don't have enough. I can't do it. So it's coming from this feeling of I don't have enough. And now I have this room fee that I have to pay that is now it took me for a leap for a few days, and I really had to check myself. I really had to sit back and feel my feelings. I was feeling all these feelings. I was feeling put in a corner, and I was feeling unable. I was feeling all these feelings, and I wanted to get out of that rut. I would get myself in a rut thinking that I don't have enough and being afraid to check my account because these feelings of inadequacy would eat me up so much that I would cripple. Like, it's really ridiculous. And it's hard for me to express that to people. So if you feel that way too, like if you go through moments of inadequacy, please come to me about it, because I don't know how to even begin that conversation with someone else, like outside of me. Because then what comes with that is this shame of oh, well, that means you're not properly managing money. And it's like, that's not what it is necessarily. It's really about not feeling worthy. That's what I've been learning. Like, when you come from, like, when you think about things from a place of lack, it comes from a place of worthiness. There's a worthiness wound that is in you that you're still working through, feeling like, okay, I'm not worthy of an abundant living, so I'm just going to operate from this space of scarcity. So so when that moment happened and I had to work through it, I was thinking to myself, okay, I need to know how to pivot. I need to learn that life is not going to be this linear experience. It's going to be this loops and mountains and valleys and all of these pathways to go through, and that's okay. And maybe it was foolish of me to even think that I would be able to stay here rent free, but as I was explaining, I just figured it would have been fine because we're family, but that doesn't mean shit. I'm fine. It's fine. I'm working through it. I'm fine. But I just feel like, maybe it was foolish of me to even think that saving for a house would have just been an easy process. Like, okay, I could just save and I'm good to go. Like, no, it's, the enemy will find a way to distract you, to throw attacks at you, X, Y, and Z. But I look at it now as I'm on the right path, because whenever you're closer to God, what God has for you, of course, there's going to be some things to distract you, to make you feel like you're unable to get there. And instead, it's just confirmation that you're on the right path to keep going. So I have been learning the mindset of keep going, of don't give up, pursue, keep your head up, you could do it. And it really stems from adopting the mindset of believing in yourself. Like, and that's really what it is. Like, me feeling worried and stressed and anxious that I couldn't save anymore and complete this goal now that I have this room fee. It was coming from a place of I just lost my train of thought, but it was coming from a place of I forgot what I was going to say, y'all. But pretty much worthiness. Like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I was immediately giving up on myself. I was immediately feeling like this is not going to happen. And I had to rewire my brain and remember God built this. Ain't that a word? I was in the grocery store. I was at H-E-B. That's my stove. And it sucks now because in this pandemic, they don't do samples anymore. It used to be every Wednesday or maybe every day. But I want to go to the grocery store every day, but I would go frequently enough. And most of the time when I was there, they would have live cooking. And they will give you sample of the salmon and the collard greens and the spicy cabbage. And I'm just like, oh, okay, this is good. I think I want to cook this for tonight. Like it was an experience going to H-E-B. And for those who's not in Houston, H-E-B is just a grocery store. And I just really miss that. So this pandemic has really changed my grocery shopping experience. Anyway, moving on from that. But I brought that up because I was at H-E-B the other day. And God reminded me why I named this podcast what I named it. When I started this podcast, I was thinking, or before I started it, as I was going through just like the process of like, okay, this is what I want to do. I was like, okay, the title of this podcast has to include God. The word God, the name, the Almighty God has to be in the title. And I was thinking that, but I just didn't know what the title would be. And it just literally came to me. And that just came, God gave it to me. But it just came to me all of a sudden. God built this. Like, God, that's it. That's the title. I just knew as soon as it came to me, that was it. That was it. And so when I started the podcast, I named it. This is still the same name. It never changed. It's always been God built this. And I was thinking, when I was at the H-E-B, strolling through the produce aisle, God was talking to me. God was like, this name is not just for the podcast. It's about recognizing who you are. God built this. God built you. God built me as I am. I am capable. I am more than enough. I am more than a conqueror. I am because He is. I can accomplish this goal. I can get past this obstacle. I can continue. I can stride on. I can because what? God built this. And this being me, this being you, right? This applies to you too, the listeners. But as I was strolling through, I just had an aha. I used to be having aha moments. I be talking to myself, y'all, like, y'all. And what the blessing of these masks, no one would know. No one would know that I'm talking to myself out loud. When I say I talk to myself out loud, meaning my mouth is moving. Words are coming out of my mouth. I'm not just in my head talking. No. These are out loud conversations with self, with God, because God lives within me. So I look at it as with God. So when He was telling me that, I was like, oh my gosh. And it was at that moment I realized, okay, I got to start this 21-day journey. I just love fasting and journey and being intentional with my time. And I realized with me, what's been beneficial to me in my growth is writing it down, is journaling it, is putting it on paper, is being intentional, is whether it's fasting from something or an activity or food or beverage, or it's adopting something into my habit for X amount of time, or if it's just journaling. But whatever it is, making it intentional has been so beneficial for me, for my mental health, for my well-being, remembering that I am enough. I am a conqueror. I can. So it stems from just realizing, oh, I got to believe in myself. Like, oh, that's what it is. That's the thing. I gotta believe in myself. So God built this is more than just the title of this podcast, right? And I know before I said like this title is about like, oh, owning who you are, being unapologetically yourself. And all of that is true. But it's when God showed me like, no, it's really more about knowing who you are and knowing whose you are, knowing that you are the child of a king, knowing that you are created to be abundant, created to be a conqueror, created to overcome. Because I am. So all of that just hit me as I was strolling through the produce aisle, just trying to figure out, do I want to take this salad or this rotisserie chicken? God's like, God built this. I'm just like, okay, which one do I want to get for dinner? So that was a moment. So I've started this journey, this 21-day journey of this mindset rewiring. And what I've committed to is really speaking life over myself. Is training the way that I think, is to recognize that, okay, God built this, meaning me. God built me. Therefore, because I am created in his image, I can, I am, I will, I shall. So every time I've journaled, I've written down affirmations over myself, and I've done it, and I've been doing it very casually in my writing. Like, I'll talk about my day, what I went through that day, how I felt during the day, and I've allowed just for it to flow out of me, the affirmations of, okay, I can do this. I believe in myself. I am more than enough. I am abundant. Abundance is me. And I just was just spitting it out. And there was one day, I want to say 2 days ago, where I had a really good day. I woke up kind of late though. It was a weekend, and I usually like to wake up early every day, but especially the weekend, because I feel like the day goes ahead of you so fast. But I woke up late, but I still had the agenda of going out to the gym and working out, and that's what I've been doing lately too. So that's always been great. But I've been going to the gym, and I went to the gym that day. Even though I woke up late, I still went to the gym, and I had a pep in my step. I had a knowingness in me to remember, oh yeah, God built this. Oh yeah, I'm good. Oh yeah, everything works out. Oh yeah, I can, I will, I shall. Oh yeah, I'm on the right track. Oh, I can overcome. I'm good. I'm like, I can do this. All right. I gotta pay this fee. I could do this. Okay, I still gotta save. I can do this. Okay, I can do this. So that's been a blessing. And I encourage anyone, if you are realizing there's something in you that you need to rewire, I definitely encourage journaling. That's for you. I'm a writer. It's natural for me to write. But if you express yourself through a different outlet, whether it's maybe singing, dancing, maybe every dance you could express something that you're going through. So, whatever it is that's creative for you. But that's what I've been engaging in the past few days, and that I'm committed to for the rest of the journey that I have for this rewiring that I have. And life is good, and I just want to give God the praise. I don't want to make this too preachy. This podcast hasn't been preachy lately. It hasn't, right? I've been talking about these niggas and bitches and hoes and but at the core, at the center of it all, my faith is my foundation. And when I am not feeding that, and when I'm not catering to my spirit, to my mental health, all of that encompasses together. When that's not being catered to, I'm not okay. And I remember having a conversation with a colleague, and he was saying how he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in any of that. And I think about people who actively don't believe in anything. I'm not saying you got to believe in or practice the same religion that I do. Like, I think there's different avenues to God. I do. I really do. But when someone is just completely, nah, I don't believe in none of that shit, it's like, damn, who hurt you? Like, I really think there's some trauma there. Like, something happened for you to just be in this space spiritually. And I think you're dead inside, dead ass. I think there's a spiritual death within you, and you're just a walking zombie. Damn, I didn't mean to insult anybody, but I really do. And my heart goes out to anyone who doesn't believe in anything. Like, God damn. But anyway, I did not want to go into that all episode. So let's switch gears while it's really an hour in. I really just wanted to give a quick 30-minute update on Boston Bay. And here we are. But, I got to keep y'all in the loop. I'm probably going to fuck him anyway. It's a joke. Y'all know I'm joking. Actually, you don't know I'm joking, but y'all know I joke. But it really is a joke. I'm not trying to fuck him. And then another thing, like, again, I really want to emphasize on the fact that I get no pleasure. So what the fuck am I doing? Why am I even trying to convince myself further on why I shouldn't even bother with him? Like, why am I even trying to convince myself? There's no pleasure from this experience. It's all in my head. There's a pill that I need to take for me to really like snap out of it fully. Child, I don't know. And it's not like I missed a D. I haven't had sex in a long time. When last time I had sex? It's been since the summertime. Probably earlier than that. But so I'm not even necessarily missing the D. I'm really not. And as I talk about it more, I'm realizing, okay, this is it. This is the reason. When I think about, again, to what I was saying much earlier, it's really about me wanting intimacy. That's it. And I know I don't get that from Boston Bay. I'm about to say his real name. I know I don't get that from Boston Bay, but I can create a whole beautiful time in my head. And that's what's been my water, my hydration for this. Because I created such a story for us. Even though I know in reality, this is not at all pleasurable for me. So why? So anyway, I say all that to say, like, the intimacy is what I want. And even though I know he doesn't give it to me, I create this persona. I like, my mind is ooh, child. But I create it all in my head, and I let that be my drug. I let that be my water. I let that be my hydration. And it'll keep me warm. But it's all in my head. It's like, it's fucked up. It's all in my head. So I need to get out of my head when it comes to that and realize, okay, right in front of me is a nigga who doesn't know how to kiss. And not even just who doesn't kiss. Because I had niggas who doesn't know how to kiss, like I said. But a nigga who doesn't kiss me, a nigga who isn't sensual, a nigga who has all these things that I don't want to deal with. I'm done. Okay, I'm done. I'm done talking about him. Let's talk about this. I don't want to talk about this shit because this pissed me off so bad. Okay, so shout out to Bolden. I wanted to have him on this episode to talk about this, but maybe we'll talk about it another time when he's available. But let me just talk about it real quick because he sent me this clip of this whack ass nigga. So it's just already Bolden got me pissed. So blame him. I haven't been able to sleep since. Let's just say that. So there's this, I'm going to pause it. There's this guy named, I don't want to say his name, but this whack ass nigga who thinks he's all that because he wears fancy suits and he's in a dark room with a candle lit. With one candle lit. Okay, let's just say that. And he seemingly makes a lot of money. He seemingly is at a particular pay range, income range, and he thinks he is the shit, right? There's a lot of guys who feel that way too. Like when they are at a particular income base, they feel like, oh, I'm the shit. And maybe there's some rights to that. You know, you work hard to be a 6-figure working or hard earning person, and that's amazing. But this sudden hierarchy that you have is what needs help. Is what needs some care. So he then he has a show, and he has this woman on, and this woman, she started to make 6 figures. She's doing her thing, and she is saying how she wants a man who is elite, you know, who makes a lot of money, who is, you know, well established. And he's pretty much telling her, bitch, you're not deserving of that. You are not pretty enough for that. You know, men like that don't go for women like you. Just like off the wall type of shit. And I'm watching this clip, and it's a whole, like, he has a whole show, meaning he has a following, meaning there are other people out there who agree with him completely. And it just makes me sad because I think about, like, oh my gosh, like, he's really beating this girl up. And I hope that she's not, like, I hope her identity is not strapped with what he said. But I think there is some healing that she has to do within herself, some therapy that she has to explore, because the fact that she even called in the show, like, before this episode, he obviously demonstrated this type of mindset before, right? So the fact that you even called in the show shows that you care enough about what he thinks. And that's the problem. This nigga, like, I don't understand the guys who really, like, he thinks he's the prize. There are men out there who really would think, like, oh, I'm the shit. I'm the one you should be catering to. And it's just sad that we've come to a point in society where, I'm not saying every guy does this, but a lot of guys that I've seen would really think that they're really the shit. And it's like, nigga, you in this pinstripe suit means nothing. It means nothing. Y'all know I was just at a penthouse 3 weeks ago with a nigga who I used to talk to. And me being at the penthouse did not make me like him any more, because I've already realized, oh, this nigga is corny. Like, it doesn't matter. And he was driving this foreign car. He looked, not even looked the part physically, because I realized, because like I said in the episode, this is our first time seeing each other after talking to each other via text and all that, and seeing him in person, I was like, oh no. Oh, I don't want this. Yo, I'm fucked up. No, I'm not fucked up, but, like, you know, like, I'm really not interested in you. You know, like, I remember being at his penthouse. I'm just like, not his penthouse. I mean, he rented it for the night or whatever. But there was no way on earth that I was still going to give you this pussy. Like, it was still not going to happen. And I think oftentimes guys who feel like, oh, well, I got this penthouse, I got this pinstripe shirt on, I got this pinstripe suit on, I got these 3D glasses on, I got this foreign car. If you a corny nigga, you're a corny nigga. Like, it's really nothing else I could do for you. If you're a corny nigga, you're a corny nigga. And what makes you a corny nigga? I'm not talking about physique, right? Because he also, like, he was well put together, right? Obviously, he's wearing a pinstripe shirt, pinstripe suit. But, like, he took care of himself physically. But I wasn't attracted to him. I'm talking about the guy in real life, Church Bay, and the guy from this show, okay? Because this guy from the show, he clearly lacks confidence. And Church Bay, he clearly has some growing up to do. He's clearly a child. And please go to the episode, I think it's 102, where I said, the title of the episode is Signs You're Dating a Child. Okay? So the name of that episode is already telling enough. Signs you are dating a child? is enough to let you know that nigga's a child. Like, oh my gosh, I should have got arrested. Like, I did some pedophilia shit. Like, it was not good. So he got some growing up to do. But the guy from this Instagram viral clip that came out recently, although he's an older man, and I think he's 52, and yeah, he's well put together, he lacks personality. He lacks an idea of who he is. And that's typically what happens when you are someone who is so focused on the physique, when you're so focused on your outward appearance, and you forget about who the fuck are you? Like, who are you? What do you like to do for fun? You like to you like to play dress up? You like to play dress up for fun? Like, okay, like, you're corny. Like, you have no personality. You think your personality is a script. You think you really are the shit when you're not. And the type of women you will attract are women who are like that. I promise you, he's not gonna get a woman like me, a woman who has substance, a woman who's fine on the outside and on the inside, right? Who's still growing, but like someone who is not unaware of themselves. He's like, he has no idea who he is. And instead, he's focusing so much on the physical. And it just reveals his insecurity. It's really just, that's what it is. It's what it is. So I just think about, like, oh my gosh, there are people out there who really follow what he's saying. And it's just disturbing. It's disturbing that he has 300,000 views on that clip where he's rashing this woman. And he's saying how, so she's a single mother. And he's saying that's already like a strike against her. No man, no caliber man that you're saying you want would want you because you have a child. And that is just so insulting. It's so insulting because I think about, like, all the many women out there who are single mothers. What does that mean? They're not deserving of a man of caliber. She worked her ass off to make 6 figures. Why can't she want a man of that same standard? Because she's not a non-black woman. And oftentimes these black men who think this way want a non-black woman, or a woman who she may be black, but she's ambiguous. You may not know. She looks exotic. Shut the fuck up. And I was looking at his pictures like, this nigga ain't really fine at all either. He's hiding under these suits and these glasses that he's wearing. Why you have these glasses on? He's covering his mouth when he speaks. There was one clip I noticed in one of his posts, and his mouth is like super small. Like, how do you eat with your mouth always closed? Like, what are we doing? And I'm not even petty like that, but like, often when I look at people who are judgmental, who really cares about your physical, I look at themselves. Like, I look back at them and look at what do they look like. And the reason why you're so pressed on how someone should look like is because you don't like yourself, because you're still insecure about how you look like, because you hate your mom. Like, that's really what it is. What are we doing, corny ass nigga? You could tell he's a cornball. And when he would talk, you could tell, like, things that he was saying. Y'all, I'm just, it really just disgusted me. It disturbed me that there are black men out there who think this way. And not everyone, of course. I'm sure there are some good black men out there. And they are. But it's disturbing that when you get to a point of elitism, you think that suddenly nothing else matters. Like, suddenly your personality and your identity is in the back burner. Understand, as much as it's good to take care of your physical, I believe in taking care of your physical, right? Go to the hygienist, get a dentist appointment now. I can't stress this enough. Black men, I need y'all to do something with your mouth. I need y'all to do something with your mouth. I need y'all to do something with your mouth. And I'm not talking about sexually. I'm really talking about the hygiene. And can we go back to Boston Bay real quick? Because his mouth is not even all that great either. I'm not saying you gotta have... Look, I'm not against gap teeth. That's fine. I'm talking about plaque. I'm talking about the rearrangement of teeth in your mouth. I'm talking about the lack of care to make sure your teeth is white. I'm talking about that, nigga. You could have a gap tooth. That's fine. I remember this guy I used to fuck with. Yo, some of him Mac cheeks. My dude. No, he's pretty good. He's a good guy. He's a cool guy. But that was during the time in my life when I was the other woman. Okay, professionally. Hello. If you want to know how to be the other woman, call me. That's a whole nother episode. But he had a huge ass gap, but he had a great smile. He has a great smile because his teeth was white. His other teeth was still in place, intact. It's just his two front teeth was gapped, and that's just fine. Like, that's actually an honor in African cultures. In certain African countries, the further gap your two front teeth are, the more beautiful you are seen. That's what I've heard. That's what I've learned. So it's actually very honorable. But the point is, even in his gap teeth in this American society, he had a beautiful smile. Beautiful smile. White teeth, didn't have any plaque, breath smelled good. He took care of his hygiene. He took care of his dental hygiene. And you have niggas out here just don't give a fuck that their teeth is off-white. I'm sorry, is that a great tooth? Okay. Like, I just don't understand. Anyway, how do we get there? The point is, when you spend too much time taking care of your physical and not enough time giving that same love to your identity, because at the end of the day, your physical is fleeting. Beauty is fleeting. Eventually you get older, right? God willing. Eventually you get wrinkly. Eventually you know, your body doesn't feel the same as it did. And you can always take care of yourself, right? Eat well, move your body, exercise, and do your best with that. But the point is, who are you at your core? At your core is not the lashes that you have on your face, right? On your eyelids. At your core is not the type of glasses you wear, nigga. Oh, you got Gucci on? Okay, so do you know who you are? What do you like to do for fun? What's your hobby? You know, at your core is not this mustache that you grew. Okay, that's great that you take care of your mustache, but what do you know how to cook? Like, what are we doing? Like, all you do is look good. That's boring. Like, do you know how to have fun? And not scripted fun, just like fun. Anyway, y'all, I really had a whole agenda. I want to talk about car lengths again. Okay, we talked about this motherfucker talking about, oh, she's not worthy for an elite man. I want to talk about car lengths, the vaccine plans, and manly men, the whole little controversy with Harry Styles. Child, I'll bring a man on for that because I really want to hear a man's perspective. I think, you know, now in this PC culture, and I'm so tired of, you have to be accepting of everything and anything. I don't really care for Harry Styles. I think there is more of an acceptance for white men to be ambiguous when it comes to their masculinity. But if I saw a black man wearing a dress on a cover, a heterosexual black man, I would feel a little cringy about it. Yeah, I would, because I do feel like there is not enough images of heterosexual black men. Oh, what you wear doesn't define your... Shut up. Shut up. I guess I'll wait for a black man to be on. I'll talk about it with a black man. But yeah, I'm not so pressed on Harry Styles because he's a white man, and white men be kissing each other and still be marrying women. It's like, okay, this is what we're doing. That's fine. Car lengths, real quick. Okay, I talked about him before when the story initially came out. after he admitted that he cheated on his wife. I mean, let's look at Carl Lentz for a second. That nigga is fine. Can we just look at him real quick? That nigga is fine. Look up Carl Lentz and type in his last name correctly. Lentz. Okay. So, yikes. I'm just I just Googled his name, and apparently he had multiple affairs, not just that one. Gosh. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That nigga is fine. Hello? For a pastor? For a white man pastor? I mean, call it what it is. Call it what every thought. Okay, the point is, what I want to get into is that there is now it seems like there's this defaming, that this campaign against him that's happening on Twitter, and I just Googled him, and it's on Google too, that he really encouraged the culture of worshiping wealth, celebrity, and fame, and he wasn't really about Jesus and all that. And I think it's just unfair. And I know I'm being maybe a little hypocritical, because with John Gray, I gave him the cross to die on. Okay, like, nigga, go over there and lay at the Lord's feet. But with Carl Lentz, I think it's fine. Can we just talk about fine niggas for a second? Like, fine niggas could just get away with murder. Oh, he's fine though. Okay, fine niggas could go ahead. You could go ahead and cheat on me again. You fine. But let's just be honest. Like, I'll be damned if I'm dating somebody and he's ugly as fuck, but I just, I fell in love with your heart. And then you have the nerve to cheat on me? What? Let's talk about my ex real quick. My ex of many, many years ago, because y'all know I've been single since the day I was born. Basically, that's how long I've been single. Okay? But my ex from many, many years ago, not many, I make it sound so far, 2015 is when we broke up, so 5 years ago. I feel like it's been longer, because I think about myself then to how I am now. I'm so different. I've evolved so much. Praise be to God. But, I embrace who I was then too. But, okay, my ex, y'all, those who know me, know me from Boston, know who I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. And for those who don't know me like that, at least from Boston know me like that, they don't know how he looked like. Okay, I'm not saying he was ugly. I'm just saying he wasn't all that. Okay, I'm just saying he was mad short. I'm just saying he had plaque in his teeth. He definitely did. I'm just saying he didn't know how to kiss either. Okay, he would open his mouth and stick out his tongue, thinking that's a French kiss. I'm sorry, what is this? Is this you kissing me? Is this you kissing me? Oh, okay. The point of what I'm saying is, he was an ugly nigga. He wasn't all that, okay? And me being the bad bitch, and I'm not even talking about, like, I'm not even cocky. I'm really not. I hope I'm not sounding like I am. I'm just, there's a difference. Let's just say that there's a difference between how I looked and how he looked, okay? And we broke up after a year being together, and come to find out, he cheated on me. And I didn't know it then. I didn't know while we were together. He didn't admit it to me. I didn't catch him. Apparently, he spoke to a sibling of mine and just confessed. I don't know why he would do that. Like, nigga, you could have gotten away with the crime. But he confessed to cheating on me. And I was thinking about one moment, well, at least one moment while we were together, where I thought something was a little off. So it was his birthday. There was a birthday party happening at his parents' house. It was a whole plan. He was a part of it too. It wasn't a surprise. And we were all there. All of us was there. We were all getting everything in order, decorating, greeting people. I was his girl at the time, so I was a part of the hosting situation, and I was really holding it down. Like, I was doing my part, and this was my first adult relationship, so I was still learning the ropes of it, but I was doing my best at the time. So he was there early in the day, but then he left all of a sudden. He just left, and I'm like, oh, where are you? Like, hello, this birthday party's for you, my nigga. This is for you. We're having this for you. When I tell you he left, he didn't just leave to go to the store to grab some more liquor. No. This nigga was gone for, I want to say, 4 hours? For a long time. And when I say everybody was there, it was a whole party, because he's a very charismatic person. He makes friends with anybody, which is another sign that I don't like. You know, after you leave something or after something ends, you realize, oh, I didn't really like these things and I'm going to do better next time. I don't like a friendly ass person. Let's let that resonate. Because what I mean by that is, I'm not saying you got to be a mean person. I'm not saying you don't talk to other people, right? I'm just saying, like, when you are all up in someone's face and you're always friends with someone new, you're always friends with the next person that you see, something's wrong with you. Like, why do you need so many friends? Why are you always trying to be friends with everybody? I look at myself and my relationships in my life. It's really about quality than quantity. I'm not going to be all up in your face trying to be your best friend. And I don't want you all up in my face trying to be my best friend. Because honestly, it's really nosy. You're being nosy. Okay, I have someone in my life who is friends with everybody. Who kikiing with everybody. Laughing in your face. Gossiping with you. And he'll come back to me and talk to me about the conversation he had with that person. The gossip that he learned from that person. And then he'll just continue with the next new person that he made friends with, and then come back to me and tell me more about the gossip from that person. And then he'll say, oh, the person's a cool person. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, is this what a friendship looks like? Like, that's not what I want. And oftentimes people who like to do that like to be nosy, like to be in your mess, just all up in your face. Like, back up. Like, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Anyway. So he was like that. So it was mad people at the party. Mad motherfuckers at the party. And you know you with the ugly nigga when you looking at his friends and you're like, damn, I wish I was with you. I wish I was with you instead. Huh? Child, I remember one time we went to, it's another story. I'll say this real quick. We went to, where did we go? We went to this, so he worked at a high-rise building in downtown Boston. And apparently employees of that building get to go to the top floor during the 4th of July holiday and watch the firecrackers from there. They could bring their food, watch something on TV or whatever. That space is available for the employees there and whoever their guest is. And one time we went, and his friends or colleague was there. And when I said this motherfucker was fine, it was at that moment I was thinking to myself, like, damn, do I show him my titty now? Or do I wait till I go to the bathroom and pull him close? Like, he was that fine. He was that fine. I'm not even exaggerating. He was a black man fine. He was a man who made it to this position at this high-rise building in downtown Boston. Like, oh, nigga, you fine. Like, okay, elite fine. But of course, he was with a non-black woman, so whatever. But he was really, really fine. And I just think about, like, damn, it just sucks being with someone and then realizing, oh my gosh, your friends all look so much better than you. Anyway, let's go back to the main part of the story. So going back to the story. So we was at his birthday party. Everybody's there. The block is out. Okay. He's not a hood nigga. I don't know why I'm saying that. But everybody was there. He's out for 4 hours. And he's not keeping me posted on what the fuck he's doing. He's not telling me, oh, I'm just running to this spot. Oh, I gotta go here. I'll be back in a moment. I will call him. He wouldn't pick up. I would text him. He didn't respond. His friends will call him. They couldn't reach him either. I'm just like, okay. And then when motherfuckers are coming up to me because they know me has his girlfriend, they will ask me, oh, Maxine, where's so-and-so? I'm like, oh, he just had to run something. Because last thing he told me was he had to change his clothes because he was there early with me helping to prepare for the party. So his excuse was, oh, I wanted to change my clothes because he sweated in his clothes and he wanted to change. And all of that. So I bought it because at the time I was much younger, y'all. I bought it at the time and I believed it. So what I learned was that he went to the store, he went to the mall to grab a new shirt to change into to then go back to his party. But you being out for 4 hours is inexcusable. Like, nigga, what the fuck? So he finally comes back. He comes back mad though. Like something happened. I don't know what happened. He wouldn't tell me. It just became this weird thing. So the party kind of got crashed eventually, and his attitude was just not like, his attitude really crashed the party. It was just really weird. So we broke up shortly after, and shortly after that, he saw one of my siblings and said that and confessed that he cheated on me. He didn't tell me, well, he didn't say with whom or when it happened, but I'm assuming it may have happened that night of his birthday party. So I was thinking, like, this short ass motherfucker got away with that on me? Ah! It's really for me. It's the for me. This short motherfucker. This corny ass, this left foot ass motherfucker. This plaque written on his teeth ass motherfucker. This no kiss, no, not knowing how to kiss, sticking out his tongue, thinking that's acceptable, has a French kiss ass motherfucker got away on that with me? What? I'm gonna go crazy. Okay? Anyway, I say all that to say, don't let these ugly ass niggas cheat on you. Don't let these, that's the tweet. That's the tweet. That's the message here. That's, if you didn't get anything else from what I was saying earlier, don't let these ugly ass motherfuckers cheat on you. Goodbye. Like that's really it. And going back to Pastor Carl Lenz, he's fine as fuck, and I hope his wife forgives him. I'm dead ass. I feel like some people, like, look, I get it. You fine. You fine. And you're a pastor. Of course you're gonna have women flocking on you. You know, ain't nothing better than a man of God. Hello? You better preach to me and take my panties off. You better tell me what Matthew 7 verse 7 says and take my panties off. I mean, what else are you doing? You better come here and lead Bible study and take my panties off. Okay? So anyway, I wish well to Pastor Carl Lentz and his family, and I pray that he overcomes this, you know. And I just want people to give grace because he's fine. He's fine. No, I just want people to give grace though, because I think, you know, so with the church, Hillsong Church is the church that he pastored for several years, and they immediately fired him after learning about his affair and apparently affairs. So it's been multiple. And they said the term moral failures, and it's just, ooh, like, damn, nigga, did he fucking rape somebody? Like, I mean, like, okay, he's an infidel. Does that mean he loves God less? Like, okay, we all fall short from the glory of God. Can y'all give him another chance? I just think this would have been a great opportunity for him to come up to the pulpit and confess to his sin and be repentant in front of us, and then, you know, sit it out, right? I believe that a pastor should sit down when they have shamed their church and their family, their wife. I believe that, because you love the wife as much as God loves the church. So of course, sit down if you have shamed your wife. But I think to fire him, they should just put him, you know, suspended, put someone else up there. It's just a little unfortunate. But anyway, you can't be a fine pastor coming in to my house to lead Bible study and you're not gonna take his panties off. All right, I'm done, y'all. I'm done. I will check in with y'all next time. Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to leave a review, give me 5 stars, and of course, subscribe. Also, follow God Built This Podcast on Instagram at God Built This Pod. God bless.